All right, welcome back. Now it's time for Forum Daily's weekly crypto and digital asset update with Catherine Murray, host of The Buck Stops Here. Take it away, Catherine.
Thanks, Nima. Hello, everyone, and welcome to your weekly crypto and digital asset update. I'm Catherine Murray. This week, of course, has been surrounding FTX, which we've learned this morning, in fact, filed for Chapter 11 bankruptcy in a Delaware court. Just stepping back for a moment, at the beginning of the week, we did hear that there could be some liquidity issues with FTX, which is one of the largest crypto exchanges in the world. And there was hope that there would be a buyer of FTX, but that was withdrawn on Wednesday and has led to what we're learning this morning on Friday that the founder, the 30-year-old billionaire founder, Sam Bankman-Fried, has in fact filed for bankruptcy court proceedings for FTX. Basically, we've wiped out about $32 billion just in a matter of days to zero. Again, there were withdrawals, demands, and a liquidity crunch. Also, approximately 130 additional affiliated companies are part of the proceedings. A lot of questions out there remain as to what this might mean in terms of contagion. And there are many institutional investors who have invested and been supporters of FTX, SoftBank and BlackRock. Also, crypto lender BlockFi has paused withdrawals as this is going through. Genesis Global Trading has noted that they have derivative exposure of about $175 million worth of capital locked on FTX, but it is not material. And we also know that Ontario Teachers Pension Fund has been an investor in FTX to the tune of about $95 million. Importantly, as well, when we think about contagion in FTX, there were a lot of institutional investors in FTX versus retail. And so you might see some hedge funds that have also invested in crypto alongside equities, having to sell equities to cover some of the losses that they might be experiencing in the crypto space. Because cryptocurrencies have been under significant pressure on the back of all of this. You've actually seen Bitcoin trade with a $16,000 handle. You're seeing a lot of cryptocurrencies down by about 5-7%, but that follows quite a weak week for cryptocurrencies in terms of the performance. As I mentioned, a lot of institutional investors in FTX, somewhat different than what we saw in previous bankruptcies from Celsius as well as Three Arrows. Those were really geared towards retail investors that lost, whether it was $1,000 or $10,000, but they had a lot of retail investors that got hurt, again, from bankruptcies within the space. What does all of this mean? It likely means that we need to see regulators come in and regulate the space faster versus just studying the space. Obviously, this is very difficult to regulate. There's been a lot of controversy in terms of how to go about doing that, but hopefully that might speed up the process. And certainly in other news, we are watching Bitcoin miner Hut 8 report their third quarter results, worse than expected, coming in with an 11-cent loss. Hut 8 is traded on the TSX under the ticker HUT. And interestingly, when we think about mining, we know that it takes quite a bit of energy. And you've got energy company Shell signing a 2-year partnership with crypto media outlet Bitcoin Magazine to sponsor the 2023-2024 Miami-based Bitcoin conference. And the view here, of course, is to improve Bitcoin mining costs and reduce carbon emissions. So, Nima, I'll leave it there on a more positive note. Certainly, FTX is the story of the day, and we will continue to see how it unfolds. I'll leave it there. Back to you.
Thanks for that, Catherine. Again, that was Catherine Murray, host of The Buck Stops Here, which airs on Sundays at 9 a.m. Eastern, only on the News Forum Network. All right, well, as Catherine mentioned, the Ontario Teachers Pension Plan says it invested $95 million US into a failing cryptocurrency exchange platform. The OTPP says it invested in FTX's international and U.S. arms so that it could gain small-scale exposure to an emerging area. FTX is now being investigated for potential securities violations, and customers are fleeing after concerns arose that it might not have enough capital. The Teachers Pension Plan says the investment represents less than half a percentage point of its total net assets. Meanwhile, the European Union's Executive Commission is predicting the 19 countries that use the euro currency will slide into a recession over the winter. The European Commission's autumn forecast says economic output will fall in both the fourth quarter of this year and the first months of 2023. It says high fuel and heating costs, record inflation, higher interest rates, and overall uncertainty are expected to tip the EU, the euro area, and most member states into recession in the last 3 months of the year. Stay with us. We'll be right back. And when we return, we're going to have the major news stories and headlines from around the world up next. So stay with us. Forum Daily will be back in a few short moments.